Hello friends, this is Allah, your friendly advisor in Ireland. Welcome back to my channel, all about Ireland. Before I go ahead with this video, I just want to check with you if you have filed your tax returns. If you did not, and if you're looking for tax return support, you can email me at allaboutireland247@gmail.com. In this video, I'm going to talk about FIRE, financial independence and retirement early, to see if this is possible. What I'll be doing is I'll be talking about what fire is, what are the different types of fire are, and then look at Ireland's landscape and see if that's possible. And at the end, I'll also show you a calculator and how to calculate your fire number. Without further ado, let's just dive in. So FIRE is nothing but, financial independence, retire early. It's made famous around 1992 by a couple of authors who wrote a book called Your Money and Your Life. And I didn't read the book, but I know FIRE, and I got to know FIRE during pandemic. But I've been following FIRE in some form much before pandemic. So what exactly is FIRE? FIRE is nothing but you save enough so that you can retire early. Retiring early doesn't mean that you are completely retired, but you can still do what you love to do rather than following the 9 to 5 corporate culture or corporate work life cycle. So to achieve FIRE, you need to be frugal, and you need to use some extreme saving methods to save maximum amount of your salary, like 50% of your salary or 70% of the salary, based on the situation you are in. And you basically pay off all your debts. You just accumulate wealth, savings, you invest those savings and make sure that you achieve the FIRE number, which will help you lead a good enough life for the rest of your life without you working at all. And the other thing which a lot of FIRE guys do is they generate an income through passive investments. It can be dividends on your shares. It can be buying rental properties where you're generating rent for yourself. And it can be, you doing music gigs, dance gigs, whatever, depends upon what situation you are in. And this basically, the FIRE as such appeals to people who wants to quit work, like me, but not now. And then who are dissatisfied with entire, consumerism, the 9 to 5 work, and doing something which you don't really do. And it also appeals to people who wants to gain financial independence, like many of you do, and who wants to move their retirement age from 68 to 40 or 48 or 50. Again, it's up to you till when you want to work. Personally, I want to work till 45-ish and, retire from the corporate work and do something which I love. I love running a school, running one restaurant. So I'll probably do that once I, officially retire, once I reach my FIRE number. And, why FIRE? The basic foundation for FIRE is, instead of retiring completely, you gain financial independence so that you do what you love rather than you do what you must do. For example, you're 50 and you do not have enough savings for retirement. You continue working, right? Till you are happy or till you receive state pension, which helps you to continue your life as you can. But then you don't really do what you love and you are on the deathbed thinking, hey, I should have traveled more. I should have done that, done this. I should have lived in some countries, or I should have saved enough for my kids, grandkids, That's what FIRE does. FIRE sets the foundation for you to do what you really want to do rather than what you are made to do because of the consumerism around you. So there are a few types of FIRE. One of these will work for you, and you may fit into one of those. Fat FIRE is something where I think a lot of people who are in Ireland would fall into this. But fat FIRE is for those individuals who are high salary individuals. They can save more, but they don't really need to give up their normal lifestyle. Basically, they have high salaries, they get high net income, and they spend good enough money on their normal lifestyle. They're not frugal. They're not, not those ones who don't spend money at all. You don't want to come across like that person, and they do their coffees, lunches, whatnot, but they still invest, say, more 50 and all. And this saving is close to 50% or 70% based on their high salary. Now, there's something called lean fire, which is very similar to lean methodology, which we use in work. It's the adherence to the minimalist living. And because of you buying only things that are necessary, not purchasing clothes, not purchasing gadgets or luxurious items, uh, or not even purchasing a house because it's high debt, just paying rent. Um so this mentality of being extremely frugal is what lean fire is, and this is highly suitable to people who are on low salaries. And then there is barista fire, which is a combination of both. You still want to lead your normal lifestyle, whereas the your savings do not allow the normal lifestyle. So you do part-time work to top up that fire number so that you lead normal lifestyle even during your retirement rather than minimalist way of living till your end. And then the last is where I think I fall into, but it's basically, individuals have enough money saved for retirement, but they still want to work, maybe part-time or maybe, full-time to cover their day-to-day expenses or till they get bored. That's what is Ghost Fire about. The next thing is, what is fire? What are the rules? What's your fire number? That's very important to know, right? Only then you would know when can you do or start doing what you really love. What basically FIRE talks about is your net worth should be 25 times your annual spending. That's when you have achieved your retirement or lifelong FIRE number. And it also talks about how much should you be spending annually to achieve FIRE number or to continue after you achieve FIRE number. For example, on the light, I have a case where, let's say, a situation where there's a single guy and he spends 18,000 euros a year, and he is officially FIRE compliant when his net worth is 450K, which is basically 25 times 18K. And if you see, I have a few examples there. Those are the numbers on the right, which says, once they achieve that net worth, they can officially retire and continue their life. Now, let's say we are a couple with 2 kids, and I'm 50 now. I achieved 900K as net worth, right? Your annual spend may be less than 36K, or it can be greater than 36K at that point. Now, from then on, you can spend 36K year on year, right? And you can lead the life you normally led from that point on to as you led before, and you need not work. That's exactly is fire. And the good thing is, and then the state pension catches up after a few years, and your kids will be out of the house, so your spending will reduce, but your fire number will still accrue market rate or a passive rate, which is possible at that point of time. So even till your death, you will still be left with some net worth that you can give it to your kids. So basically, this net worth required is a FIRE number, which is 25 times your annual expenditure, which will allow you to retire and spend your life without doing any other work. FIRE also suggests to have a emergency savings pot of 3 to 6 months worth of your salary. But to be honest with you, instead of 3 to 6 months of salary, you can save 3 to 6 months of your actual monthly expenditures, so that you're covered for next 6 months, like a rainy day check. And this also is added towards your net worth. The way FIRE people usually do things is with respect to investing, instead of trying to beat the market, because which is risky, they go along in the market, they participate in the market. Most of the FIRE compliant people in the US, they invest in Vanguard S&P 500, and being from Ireland, you can also invest in Vanguard S&P 500, which basically tracks the index. So again, from 1970 to 2020, which is 50 years, the average returns on S&P 500 is 10.83%, which is really great return. So you can just invest in one such fund and not think of anything else. And the other thing which FIRE talks about is you should not have any debt. So most of us, we purchase houses take by taking a mortgage. So what FIRE says is to have a outright home ownership. Or if you have outright home ownership, your annual spend will reduce drastically, and your FIRE number reduces again drastically. That will help you retire earlier than you thought you would. So if you have a mortgage, think about closing the mortgage as soon as possible. These are the basic thumb rules. Again, these are not strict. It depends upon your condition, your situation, and the age you want to attain this thing. And though FIRE says it need to be 25 times your annual spending, you can also make your rules yourself like 30 times or 40 times. I don't have any specific rule, but have a number that I want to be worth when I retire, like when I be FIRE compliant. So that is much more than 25 times, which FIRE recommends. So based on your situation, you arrive at that number, and uh, if you can fall into any of the FIRE types which I just mentioned. And the last question is FIRE possible in Ireland? First, I thought it's not possible, but as I went through during my research, I think it's definitely possible. I personally, I already put aside a great sum on my pension pot, and contributing the maximum percentage I can year on year is actually helping me build my pension pot well. So I suggest that, based on your age, try to maximize your investments in pension pot. Um, it will be tough, but again, by making these sacrifices, you can really achieve it. And the other thing is, if you're following the market, you're good. If you're trying to beat the market, it's difficult. So try to invest in some things which are actually following the market. And your basic thumb rule or basic life philosophy should be like you're eating, sleeping, and repeating, save, invest, earn more, spend wisely. Save, invest, earn more, spend wisely. So what I actually do monthly is I set aside my savings, and then whatever I have, I spend it. What a lot of people do is income minus expense is save. Like Warren Buffett says, I follow the other way. I follow invest minus save is expense. So I leave a budget for expenses, and if I reach that budget, I don't spend anymore for the month. So doing those little changes will help you. And you can also, there are a lot of opportunities for passive income within Ireland. You can rent a room in the house you own. You can get dividends from the shares. You can do gig work, remote work, and a lot of people I know who are coming to me for tax filing, they do overtime. So whenever there's a possibility to do overtime, you can do. That's little income. And the other thing with respect to spending wisely is, a lot of people buy coffees here. You can stop buying coffees. You can make coffee yourself at home. There are a lot of machinery out there, and you can make coffee for a much cheaper price. And you can limit alcohol. A lot of people learn drink a lot, and eating out. I mean, personally, in my family, we eat at outlet a lot, even in Ireland. That's something we want to reduce. You can reduce takeaways. So spend your money wisely, and you can earn more by changing jobs. But again, it depends on what your goals are. And a few other techniques like zero-based budgeting, snowball, avalanche, pay yourself first. Pay yourself first is nothing but saving the money before you spend. Avalanche method is where you pay off the biggest debt you have, and then you go on to smaller debts. Snowball is you clear off the smaller debts and then go on to bigger debt. This will give you satisfaction of clearing out some of the loans, which I actually use snowball because that's not just emotionally, psychologically beneficial. Zero-based budgeting is you answer for every dollar you spend. FIRE is all about frugality. If you're not frugal, you can still follow FIRE. Like personally, I use Coast FIRE, where I still live normal life, but I save enough money so that I reach my number. The few websites where you can, do your calculations. This one here, engaging data as a FIRE calculator. If you search for FIRE calculator, it will show you the FIRE calculator. Here I have an example where there's a guy with age 30 doing an investment, has investments of 25K. His Net income is 60K. His spending is 30K. He has no extra income, no extra expense, and he wants 30K when he retires. And his target, the target number is 4%, which is again this. Now, if you see here, it, the calculator says he can reach by age of 44 what he's targeting. That's a really good age to retire to, right? At 45, you're out of this corporate work culture and you do what you would love to do. And you can also have a happy, healthier life. So you can put some numbers here. You can do your own calculations, and the calculator is free to use. There are many calculators. I found this to be a good one because it also gives you percentile and stuff. So happy saving, invest wisely, spend wisely, and I hope you reach your fire number as soon as possible. Do visit careerireland.com if you have any career related queries. Do write to me at allaboutireland247@gmail.com if you have any tax or financial advice queries. Thank you.